So this is our report. I'm Grace.
I'm Saul.
And I'm Jacob. This is our bacteria experiment.
So what we were interested in researching and doing an experiment on was how the time of day affects the amount of bacteria on your hands. We thought this was an interesting question because it would give you an idea of how much bacteria you are exposed to and also how much bacteria accumulates and grows on your hands. Our hypothesis was that the later in the day, the more bacteria there would be on your hands, because if you collect a sample during the early morning, then your hands haven't had as much time to have bacteria transferred and grow on your hands, whereas if it was late afternoon, then you've been touching lots of objects and that bacteria has accumulated and grown on your hands.
So here's our expected graphs. So our first one is, it's the number of hand washings in the day and the amount of bacteria on them while doing them. We were hoping to put this in part of our procedure, but unfortunately we didn't get to it. And there's the caption.
Our second expected graph is the experiment we did get to, which was how time of day affected the amount of bacteria on our hands. Our expected graph was that it would go up by about 3 or 4 bacteria colonies for each 2-hour progression.
There's the caption. So this is our mixed graph. The blue line represents the amount of bacterial colonies as the day goes on. And the red line, so this red line right here, represents the amount of times you wash your hands. So again, bacterial colonies and amount of times you wash your hands.
Here is our combined research report that we all did and put together into one big massive report. Some of the main points of it are that there are lots of different kinds of bacteria in the world and on your hands. Second main point is that they accumulate and grow on your hands. And our third point is that not all bacteria is bad. There are some good kinds, and they can protect you from diseases, and the good ones and some of the bad ones can be made into antibiotics. Our bibliography is just all the sites that we use to put into our combined research report.
Okay, so this is our materials section. It's pretty self-explanatory, except for agar. Agar is what bacteria needs to grow. It has food, which is the sugar, oxygen, and otherwise the rest is pretty clear. And this is our procedure. We first make the plates, and we prepare them. We also wash the table so that way it's sterile. And when we actually get onto the experiment, we will swipe our hands with the Q-tip and then streak the plate with it.
This is our data table that shows the different trials and the points at the day that we were doing them. There were not really any outliers. Some were larger numbers than others, but all in all, it was a pretty, the averages were pretty accurate. So this is our final graph showing just the averages. It's a linear function, which is what we wanted. Our second graph is shows all of the different trials,
It is also a scatter plot.
and it's scatter plot. There were 4 different trials and an average for each category that we had. As you can see, the ranges did vary, but they were the averages were fairly accurate.
That is a report, and
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for listening.
Hope you enjoyed. This is by the 7th grade at San Francisco Friends School.
Oh, yeah.